Good day everyone. I'll be explaining how I use inline CSS in my final project for Perlin. I started with the body styling. Body tag which controls the whole page, which means everything over here. And I also set the font for the page to Arial so that it can easily be readable. I also removed the default margins and padding to the page so that it looks neat and clean. As you can see, there are no more gaps over here. And I also added a gradient background for a smooth color effect, which is everything over here, the light blue. And now let's head to the header styling, which is of the here. I gave it a little blue background, this color, that. And when I change it to black, it also changes to black. There we go. But I'll bring it back. Mhm. Now it turned to blue again. Now next to it is the color for the text. As you can see, it's white and also white. And when I try to turn it to black, save it, the text also turns to black. Now, let's bring it back to white. Now, let's move to the page again and refresh it. Look, it's white again. And the next would be the padding. I use padding 20 px and text align center. I use padding 20 px so that the pad would be like that. It's not that big. And but when I input 200 over there, it turns to that. And it doesn't look good. So we only need 20 px. There we go. It's a lot more better, right? And by using text align to center, all of them would be centered. Now let's move on to the header contents, which is the full name of address, contact numbers, or email. And here they are. I use text declaration and done so that the underline bit under this email would be gone. Now let's remove it and save. And you'll see that there's a underline. But when I bring it back, huh? When I bring it back, there are underline. But let's refresh that, and the underline is gone. I can also use it to input it here so that the underlines between them are gone, but I prefer having them underlined so that it highlights the clickable pages. But let's still try to underline them. And there, save, and the underline is gone. There's also a bit of this type production, and it's fixed now. And for the navigation links, I made them white so that it's very visible. And as you can see, it's pretty much visible because it's white. And I also added the horizontal spacing so that they don't stick close together, which is this, the margin and 0 and 10 px. If I change this to 0, you can see that experience is too close with other links. And so let's put this into 100, and you'll see that now they are way too far to each other. Now let's turn this back to 10, and now it's a lot more better. And in the main part of the page, I styled the heading to be blue so that they stand out, and I'm pointing where the blue at. And for the quick links, which is here, over here, these are my quick links. I made it black, which is the color over here, color black. And I also underlined them using the U tag. Now for the footer styling, I use the same blue background and white text to keep the design consistent, as you can see over here. And I also centered the text, added padding, and made sure the footer stretches across the entire bottom of the page so that it is stretched all the way around so that it can cover the entire bottom of the page. And the next one is on my profile page. Is only there. I will explain how I did this circle profile photo. Now let's head into profile. It's pretty much the same on the home page, except this time I'm styling a picture. I made it in a shape of a circle. As you can see, it's a circle because I think it's better than a square. So to manipulate this, I use border radius. Where's the border radius? Hmm. Border radius and border. I use 50% because it turns it into a circle. Now I'll remove it and you will see what I'm talking about. Save, and it turns into a square and it doesn't look as better as the circle. Now that I brought back the border radius 50%, now let's refresh the page. Let's save it, and now it turned to a circle. Now on the border it's 3px and it's talking about the border. As you can see, there are some blue borders over here, and when I change that to 30, it gets bigger. Too big is not that good because as you can see, it covers almost the half of the page and it doesn't look as pleasant as 3px. Now let's bring it back to 3px and let's refresh it. Now it's a lot more better, right? Now let's move on to my gallery and how I did it. Now let's click any of the links so that I can show you the photos. And this is my photos, and I'll explain how they are on the middle and how they have borders again. It's pretty much the same on my profile except it's not a circle, it's a square. Now let's go into my photo biography and I'll explain the div style. I use Flexbox to arrange the items, and I also use the display flex so that it makes the container flexible. You can see that. And I also use flex direction that the columns stack the items vertically. They're all vertical, and I also use align items so that they put them in the middle horizontally, and you'll see that all of them are aligned. There are no extra spaces. All of them are aligned. And I also used only 20px on the margin bottom so that it adds a spacing between them. You can see over here when I put 200px and refresh this, you'll see that there are a lot of wasted space though. So let's only use 20px. So to sum it up, I used incline CSS to style the body, the body, header, navigation contents, which is the nabs, all of them here. And I also use it to control the fonts so that it's all easily readable. As you can see, it can easily be read by anyone. And for the spacing, you can see that all of the links aren't that close together, but I can change it if I want to, or if anyone want to. It's quick for small projects like this, but for bigger projects, it's better to use external CSS. That's all for me. Thank you.